that's the way to be. I'll in a class to beat them all and go down in history. I'll be the one to reach the stars, but only if you're with me tonight, 'cause that'll be the life. I'm gonna go write a million songs if that's the way to be. I'll in a class to beat them all and go down in history. I'll be the one to reach the stars, but only if you're with me tonight, 'cause that'll be the life. 'Cause that'll be the life. 'Cause that'll be the life.
Hello again and welcome to episode 26 of Main Street Martin. This is the second part of our Regal Princess Mediterranean cruise in 2022, which we should have joined in Athens but didn't actually join until 4 days later in Sicily. Before we begin, if you enjoy any of the videos here, make sure you click on the like button, ring that notification bell to be informed of any future videos, and make sure you subscribe. Now, following our extended stay in Athens due to the problems I explained in the last episode, we boarded in Sicily, and the following day we arrived here in Naples. One of the reasons we originally wanted to do this cruise 3 years ago, before COVID-19 intervened, was to visit Pompeii. So, we chose a Discovery exclusive to Princess excursion, which included Pompeii, as well as a cheese tasting experience, a visit to a cameo factory, and some time on our own to explore Sorrento. After a coach ride from the port, the day began at a local farmhouse in Sorrento, where we visited the olive mill, where the tart orbs are pressed into golden drops of olive oil. We also visited a wine cantina and witnessed the art of mozzarella making. And afterwards, we were able to enjoy samples of the fresh white cheese with salami, wine and mineral water.
This is Rosa. Rosa is the person that today will show you how every day she prepares our cheeses. And then in the evening, every day, it doesn't matter if you have anything else to do, if you're not home, you must attend them. So it's a really, really tough job. This here that you can see is the cardo. The cardo is the base for every type of cheese that you will ever eat in your life. Maybe mozzarella, caciocavallo, provolone. It's always the same base. And it is made with the milk of the day before, plus the rennet. The rennet is an enzyme melting, it becomes elastic, and she can give it the shape that she wants. And of course, in this case, will be the shape of a flower.
Freccia.
And this is it. Then we just need to add a little bit of salt on it, and it's perfect with already. And now she will make another typical Sorrento cheese, the caciocavallo cheese. I don't know if you ever tried it. No? Okay. Here in Sorrento is very famous, and even though the base of the cheese is the same, they're very different from each other. And this is why sometimes when you go into Sorrento shops, you can see it pending from the ceiling, because they put it there to make it dry since there is a good ventilation. Okay.
Caciocavallo.
Even though right now they're exactly the same, because the base is the same.
Feel like celebrity.
No. Here we come on top of these trees to shake them, and there are plastic nets under us to collect all the others that fall down. Then we select the good ones. In the past, to produce the oil, they used to put them in here. This is a traditional oil mill that functions with the rotation of this stone wheel that can be pushed by hand or by a donkey or a cow. It can be trained by a donkey or a cow. It's actually very easy, and you can also do it with other fruits, for example with the oranges.
Lemon groves are everywhere, and of course limoncello is ubiquitous in the workshops, restaurants and cafes of the city. You can stop in one of the Artisan shops for a limoncello tasting and choose which secret recipe you like best. There are a number of lesser famous but still delicious citrus liqueurs as well, also produced by artisans in Sorrento's shops, and here we had an opportunity to buy some of them.
Solid, no?
Only these three freeze because these are creams, so there is milk in it and it's freeze. So we usually put them in the fridge, but this here in the freezer and they're perfect.
Because of the alcohol.
Actually, I think in Sorrento there are pistachio trees.
It's not pistachio.
No, I've never seen one.
Next we went into the centre of Sorrento to visit a cameo factory and to see some of this incredible inlaid wood furniture and art.
When the artisan does it, he always begins with a drawing, and then of course he has to cut the veneers to the size of the item that he wants to make. The artisan will cut the art veneers. They're going to be used for the base of the piece. Then he cuts the light veneers. They're going to be used for the inlay part, for some scrolls, for some leaves, for some of the figures.
And spin it around. There's a lovely game of chess and checkers, all inlaid. Then you set it to the side. You have a playing card table. You can play mahjong, bridge, or canasta. Spin it around. You have a lovely game of blackjack. But surprise, you have a little Las Vegas. And the numbers are all inlaid. Then you lift the roulette. You can still go and play bingo. When you get bored, you just turn it around. Backgammon and craps. And then what you do when the table arrives home, you will cook the most delicious dinner for your friends and family, so you'll eat with them. You play with them, and of course you get all the money back from them in one night. You're the house.
Sorrento's intricate local inlaid wood furniture and art has been famous since the European nobility began visiting this stretch of coast as part of the Grand Tour in the 19th century. Today there are a number of workshops and galleries which show and sell everything from small inlaid boxes to breathtaking pieces of furniture. As an example, a jewellery box can be purchased at a reasonable price and is a perfect souvenir, decorated with classical floral designs, pastoral scenes, or you can opt for a more contemporary geometric pattern. Meanwhile, cameos have a very important place in Italian history, culture and lifestyle. The art of cameo making is one of the most ancient arts, and during the Roman Empire, cameos were symbols of social status, while in Florentine Renaissance and the neoclassical period, the cameo was a must-have item for privileged tourists. In the mid-18th century, new shell varieties were introduced from the Caribbean and demand for cameos grew. Today, cameos are sold all across Italy on the mass market, but if you can, you should really try to find an authentic cameo artist who passionately maintains the ancient traditions of cameo making with a knowledge of art history.
So that's the beach. The water will go straight.
Sorrento is of course a coastal town overlooking the Bay of Naples. Here you can explore the cobblestone side streets and the public squares and piazzas, which all have a lively atmosphere. You can stroll down to the picture-perfect Sorrento Pier, take in the fresh sea breeze, or maybe go beachcombing along the rocky shoreline. Sorrento is also a prime place for shoppers. The bustling Corso Italia is a flower-lined main boulevard showcasing charming cafes and designer boutiques. Now, lunch wasn't included on this tour, but there are certainly plenty of cafes and restaurants here, so you have plenty of choice. Now, I have to say that our guide was absolutely fabulous, but he really came into his own when we arrived in Pompeii. I remember well from my school days hearing about the eruption of Vesuvius in 79 AD. It was a monumental natural disaster that killed thousands and entombed the city of Pompeii.
The first thing we're going to find here, look at that, it's a theatre. Look how big is it? You could stay about 5,000 people into it. Let's go that way.
If you can, you really should visit this UNESCO World Heritage Site. It's an opportunity to view a monument in time preserved for more than 2,000 years in what was a lost city buried deep beneath the ash. We were able to walk along the ruins that in exquisite detail paint a picture of daily Roman life. Known as a vacation community for high society, some of these ruins are remarkably preserved, with elaborately detailed mosaics and colourful frescoes decorating the interiors of wealthy homeowners' villas. Our guide described everything in fine detail, from the grooves in the cobbled streets made by Roman carts to the reason there were stepping stones from one side to the other. He showed us where there had been brothels, fast food eating places, and the villas owned by the wealthiest of citizens. It was a fabulous excursion and one that I would highly recommend.
The size is smaller, and the difference that this one used to have a dome on top with a circular hole in the middle and a fantastic acoustic inside. Because this one here was used just for music. In fact, the name of this theatre was Odeia. The heights of the buildings, they all collapsed under the weight of action stones. Everything else is in its own site. Look at the stones. These are the original stones of the original city. You know, in Pompeii, streets are very important as well, because differently from other places, they were made of wood, but they were covered by an iron sheet. So little by little, they had been concealing the stones, moving like a truck, going around. Okay. So, and always, on the front stone of the shop, there is a group. You can see it down here. Why the curve? Because being the pavement, always busy because of the pedestrians, they could never open the doors forward, so they used to have packed doors. Because only in the excavated part of Pompeii there are 90 of them. Salary, paying the soul. They're all expression coming from the time. I mean, tomatoes are coming from South America before Columbus. I mean, over here. So why? Because the problem was the wine. Maybe you even change the clothes of those people with togas and sandals. Look, you just have a view of how Pompeii would have been. In a live city with people going up. The palestra is the gym. This is the place where they were working out, men and women together. Because taking care of their bodies was almost mandatory. It's even good preserved. You know, as a persona, they had to cool down. So they came here together to perform. But the gap between the temperatures was too big. So this room here, you know, clothes, sandals, mobile beach. So many of the most you can see now just damages. Yeah, I'm going to show you the next one here, the open steel. The way that you make it, I'm quite sure that you all heard about the mummies of Pompeii, didn't you? Or the petrified, what could they be? Until one of them had the idea to fill them up with injunctions of liquid plaster. So once that, if you think about it, when you look at this, you'll have a different sort of, the banana means house of the, like this. The owner was outside charging the money, the client rating in, he went in, age limit, no. And well, the thing is that this thing is really strange. But anymore, that was the arbor right there. So there were a lot of ships around. So now, what do you think of sailor that have been spending months? Anyway, before we get to the forward now, thousands of tires. That's still, wow, amazing, right? I mean, look how big is this house. It's not even a house, it's a mansion. The mayor. And here we go. No, I don't have a battery. We're working on the steps. Look at that. From here, you can even check Marina leading to the harbor. Then the biggest, sorry, and the busiest building is the Basilica. Nothing to do with the church. The Basilica is the courthouse. Yeah, they had from 20 to 30 trials today. I mean, they're regular with everything. Get into the market of fabrics, the most important one. Yeah, you know, they didn't textile here, but what they did was to dye the fabric. Light. And if you look straight, so now the sea used to be by the tree. Yeah, all
Now before we finish, a reminder to please check out the other videos on the channel featuring the rest of the Mediterranean cruise theme parks, including the original Xcaret Park in Mexico and others, all of the parks in Orlando, some parks that no longer exist like Cypress Gardens and Opryland USA, plus European parks. Now there are also city and short breaks along with top tips, hints and ideas. If you enjoy any of the videos, make sure you click on the like button, ring the notification bell to be informed of any future videos, and make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you next time for the next episode of Main Street Martin, when after a day at sea, we move on to Barcelona.
I'm gonna go write a million songs if that's the way to be. I'll write a class to beat them all and go down in history. I'll be the one to reach the stars, but only if you're with me tonight.